Hey guys, welcome back to the beginner's tutorial for Java coding. Today, like I said, we're going to be working with variables. And what we're going to do is we're going to start a new batch of Java code here, a new class file. Okay. So again, how we start any class file is going to be public class, and let's call this numbers. Okay, we're going to start dealing with numbers here. Make sure to open bracer and our main method statement. Public static void main string open close square brackets args close parentheses new squiggles, and there you go. So now we're going to be dealing with numbers in Java. So I'm going to go ahead and save this file. Come on, file, save as. And as you can see, because we closed the brackets, it's already put the name of the file in. So it's called numbers. There you go. So there's numbers. All right. So as you begin to learn how information is handled inside computers, you're going to learn about bits and bytes and memory sizes and memory locations and things such as that. And you'll also, from your history with math, know the difference between an integer and any number with a decimal value. So in Java sense, we can declare integers by typing the abbreviation int. And as you can see, int goes purple. Well, there you go. We've just found another keyword. So the way we declare a variable is we need to tell Java what the variable type is that we're declaring first. So here we're going to declare an integer. And let's call this, say for high school sakes, an x. Okay? And we don't need to do anything with that x right now. We're just telling Java that we have this integer called x. And let's tell Java that we have another integer. Let's say int y. So what we've done right there is we've declared two variables. We've declared an x integer and a y, a integer called x and an integer called y. Now, when we print these out on the screen, Java isn't going to say x equals and y equals. These are just what we're calling these variables within our code, x and y. Okay, and we can now assign values to these variables. Now there's more than one way to do this, and you may have seen a different way, or you may have even seen this way. And I'll go through both of them shortly. For this demonstration, we're going to assign the value to the variable after we've declared it. So there you are, we've declared x and we've declared y up here. And now we're going to assign them some values. So let's say x equals 5. So again we go x equals 5. Now it doesn't matter about the spacing here. You can just do x equals 5 without the spaces, or if you're like me and you like to really be able to quickly see what's going on in this line of code, you'll put spaces. That's just a matter of preference. It'll still compile and run the exact same way. So we'll give a value of 5 to x, and we'll say y equals -2. So there you go. So we now have the values of 5 and -2 stored in x and y. Well, let's get Java to do a little bit of math for us. So let's do a declaration and a value assignment all in one line. So let's declare another integer. Let's call it z. And before we end that line of code with a semicolon, let's actually give it a value. And let's give it the value of x plus y. So z now equals x plus y. We can actually do that in Java. We can declare a variable and initiate it right away. And we can even initiate a variable with other variables to give it a value. And now you're starting to see that things can get complicated very, very quickly. Right here, we only have 3 variables. And already, if we start changing any one of the either x or y's around, we're going to make the program do different things. Right now, it's just doing simple addition of integers. So let's get Java to print out the values of x, the value of y, and the value of z. So, like we did before, we have a system.out, and let's get them to print it on different lines, so we'll do print line. Now, before, if we wanted to print anything, we had to put in quotes because we were printing strings before. And we knew what the strings were, and so we just put the information inside the quotes. Well, now we have numbers, and we want to print that out. Well, Java can handle that just fine. We just put x inside the parentheses without quotes. That means it's now passing in the variable x. It's not reading x as a string. And it'll take whatever x, the value of x is, and it'll represent it as a string on the screen. And we'll do that for all the variables we have here. So we have system out dot print line, and we'll print out y as well. Again, we don't need the quotes. And our last one for z. Z. There you go. So let's see what happens when we compile and run this. So compile and run. So as you can see down below here in the run IL, it's printed out the value for x, it's printed out the value for y, and it's printed out the value for z. And it actually performed the mathematical operation for us for z there. Okay. You may have already learned some of this stuff in your 1100 lectures. If you have, good. So you could probably move on to the next video. If not, this is how it's working. And we can do any operation that we want. It's an integer, and an integer value can be the product of two integers. Compile, run, and there you go. So z now has a value of -10. We are going to run into trouble, however, if we start doing division. As you can see, we got a result of -2 when we divided 5 by -2. That's because we declared z as an integer, and we did division with two integers here. And as you know, integers cannot hold decimal values. They're only whole numbers, but they can be negative or positive as well as 0. So to overcome this, we'll have to learn about different types of variables, and I'll go over that in a different video because it's going to start getting a little bit more complicated. But that's just something that you need to pay attention of, especially for division. Even for oops, we need to be up here, even for modulus as well. Okay, so for those of you who have taken any kind of discrete mathematics, you'll understand what modulus is. That's the symbol for it right there. And we'll run. And there you go, we have another issue. Yeah, so I think that'll probably just about do it for now. That's the important things to take away from this, is that there are two ways. There are two ways to declare and assign values to a variable. So the first way is to declare them all in a row like that, and then assign the values all in a row. And the second way is to just declare it and assign the value all in one line. Okay. It's important to note also that if you declare a value of x, you don't need to declare it again, and in fact you cannot declare another value named x. It will actually return an error. So let's try that right now. So let's declare another value called x, and at the same time let's give it a value of 8 here. So already you can see we're going to have a problem here. We've declared x, we've given x a value. We've now declared another another integer called x. So Java isn't going to know which one to use for the x down here. And in fact, when I hit compile, oh, it's already defined in the method. So it's telling me, hey, dummy, you need to either not define this and reassign the value to x, or give this variable a different name. Okay, so we'll just get rid of that for now, and as you can see, it compiles just fine. Okay, so we'll go into a little bit more detail into variables and how to manipulate values in the next video. For the time being, again, as always, you should probably go back and try messing around with this a little bit on your own. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.